Good morning, everybody. It's Saturday, 2 days after Thanksgiving. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving. And, I reviewing the week, and I think I ended up with like a 1 hour loss for the week, which, I wouldn't like to have, but it is what it is. At the same time, though, that's a really good loss, right? That's something I can accept, and I'm okay with it. That shows that my discipline was there this week. I was also proud of the fact that I have been improving and believing in myself, taking trades, and sticking to my plan. Because that's a big problem, right? Like sticking to your plan, because the worst thing is when you enter a trade and then you get out and you end up being right. How many times does that happen to you? I don't know about you, but it's happened to me more times than I can count. To where, especially in the beginning of my trading, it happened all the time because I didn't trust myself. And then when I found trust in myself and my setups, I started making progress, started getting consistency. And then somewhere along the way, I branched out and traded big and took big losses. And then I lost my trust in myself. And it doesn't matter if I was trading my setup or not, I lost my trust. And therefore, I wouldn't stick to my plan, and you could see the cycle. So, I watched a video yesterday on Twitter from Stocks to Trade. Tim Bowen posted it. Tim Bowen, I love that guy. He's a great guy. He posted about Jackaroo Trades. He was doing a quick interview with him, and Jackaroo Trades is a great guy as well. And he mentioned that in that interview that he wasn't seeing the progress that he was hoping he'd see back in April. And it's because he's been branching out and trying new things. And I think, I love that he shared that, because I think we all go through that. Heck, I'm going through that right now. If I would have never branched out and tried new strategies with actual size, then I probably wouldn't be where I'm at right now, right? I'd probably have a much better curve. But instead, there's something about like when you start doing well, you start thinking, oh, I got this. Like I know how to, predict. When in my opinion, you don't predict the market, you kind of react to it. And you see what may happen based on the odds. But when you get in this high horse, you kind of start trading everything. And then don't realize all these losses you're taking are significant because you're taking bigger size. And that's what I did, and hopefully I'm learning from that. And so that's something I really want to grow from. So moving forward this week, I want to focus on taking full size on my setups only. And then if it's not my setup, which is something I'm very proud of this past week, is when it was something that I'm very, very familiar with in terms of a short setup. And for example, a bounce short, meaning a stock that's bouncing and headed towards major resistance from a previous day. Maybe it spiked up 2 days ago with massive volume. I'm talking like 10, 20, 30 million shares, peaking out at $6 and then tanking down to $2. And then 3 days later, it's peaking back up to like $4.55. And in that area, there might be resistance. In the past, when I traded those, I take losses even though I end up being right. And the reason I took losses is because I entered this trade way too soon because I was just excited. And I entered the trade, I say way too soon. It was still near a key area. But those key areas in those trades for me seem more like zones instead of a key area, right? Instead of like $2, it's like $2 to $2.25. It's like that area. And so because of that, I would be trading it the way I trade my other strategies, where I could take full size knowing when I'm going to be wrong. And in this strategy, I take full size and I got to cut it because I can't just wait for that whole zone to be tested. I can only risk maybe 10 cents, right? And so because of that, I end up taking a lot of losses. And so I kind of shun away from that strategy. And now what I've been doing this week is I love that strategy because I see it work all the time, just not with me. And so now I'm taking like 100 shares just to see it and just to feel the trade. Because I know if I take a small position, then, I can give it a bigger range. Because the goal isn't really to make money on those trades, it's to get confidence. And so if I can get an entry and then hold out until it fades back down, then that gives me confidence that I'm going to be right over the long term. And then I can slowly increase that size. And so that's what I plan on doing there. It's a different way to trade that strategy. And just talking about that, it's helping me see that each strategy is a little different and has a different kind of risk tolerance, right? I have one strategy that if VWAP breaks, I'm out no matter what. Then I have one strategy that if VWAP breaks, but I don't care. I don't give two craps about it. But if a key area on the chart breaks, then I'm out, right? And then in this trade, if there is no key area or VWAP, it's more of a zone. If this zone holds and breaks, then I need to get out. And that's the big difference. And starting to see that is it feels good, right? I mean, I made a trade on Disney. I didn't talk about this, or maybe I did. I just can't remember. On Disney, where I'm testing a long swing strategy, something that I'm just basically doing on my own and just based off my experience. And that was, buying it for, a week, 2 weeks, right? And I bought it on the first dip to I think in the 130s, 34. And I had to cut it for a small loss. It was a 1 hour loss. And then the second time I did it, it took another 1 hour loss. And the third time when it dipped, I bought it at 132 and I sold it at 149, or I'm sorry, 140, or 139 some change. So 140. And I made a 7R gain. And that trade was a whole different kind of setup, and I'm learning from that. But why was I taking a full 1R? When I say 1R, I was taking 1R like I would on my standard trades. Why didn't I just take a quarter R? So that way I can learn. And that's what I'm talking about. It worked out on that stock, and I really believed in that strategy, so I was willing to take a couple of losses. But that wasn't necessary. I mean, it's because I had impatience. It's because I'm oh, what if I miss this? And then, I'm only doing quarter size and I'm right. I could have made this. That is impatience and greed. And that's something that I got to continue to work with, right? It's never going to go away. It's always going to be there. And I used to be in sales, and matter of fact, I'm going to go back in sales. And I consider myself a really good salesman. I've done it for years and I train people and I love it. I really do love it because I'm here to help people, and I'm not that person who tries to make you do something. I don't believe in that. I believe that, there's a saying, a man convinced against his will is still of the same opinion still. I could have butchered that, but something like that always stuck with me. And so that's something that I believe in, right? And it's not about forcing things. And when you're in sales, you have all of these emotions. You have emotions of, oh, I want this sale, or I need this, or oh, this can be 2 or 3 sales, not just one. And I've experienced that and been able to say, hold up. That's not true. Those are just emotions. You can feel them. Though, I mean, yes, the emotions are real, but I don't have to make my decisions based off those. And that's what I'm learning to do with trading, which I've done really good. Well, I say really good. I for periods of time, I do really good. But the thing about trading that's different about a job anywhere else is that with trading, when you make one lapse in your discipline, it can set you back to the beginning. It can set you back, depending on how bad that lapse is, right? It can set you all the way back. It can set you a day back, a week back, a year back. And that is a lesson I haven't learned, and that I'm learning now. In sales, if you somehow make a lapse in your judgment or let that emotion take over, you lose maybe that one sale, right? But in trading, you lose as much as bad. You can lose everything, and that's something that is huge. It's a huge difference, and so you got to pay attention to that, and that's something I got to be aware of. So this week, like I said, trading full size, my positions and my strategies that I love, and then strategies I'm experimenting with, which are 2, which are both short strategies, because that's what I love to do. because for some reason I've been gifted with that and not long strategies. And on those two, I'll be taking small size where the risk is pretty much nothing and the reward is nothing. It's almost like a waste of energy, but it's not, because in the long term, I'll gain my confidence. And that's what I'm trying to do with those strategies. So I hope you're enjoying this content, guys. I'm just trying to share my journey. I'm going to be making another video here soon about my first experience in the market and why I even left, my first career about it. And we'll talk about that and share like how I was able to do that. Because some people want to do that, right? And go do their own thing, but don't understand how or want to be guided, right? So I'll make a video about that sometime. But other than that, I hope you're liking this content on the podcast. If you're listening on there, check out our YouTube. My YouTube actually has a video of me talking about this. And make sure to subscribe on there, comment. I always like interacting with all of you. And then on the podcast, give us a rating and review. It helps me a ton with the algorithms, especially with the Apple iTunes podcast app. Thanks again. You guys have a wonderful day. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving. And let's kill in December.